Today's video is going to have a lot. I'm going to do a flip through of my reading journal thus far. I'm going to be giving you a short but sweet June reading recap, and I'm going to set up my reading journal for the month of July. So stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new, welcome. My name is Tracy and I like to read books and play in planners and use all the stickers. So today we're going to be doing a combination of it all. So this is my reading journal for 2024. It's got a little bit thick. I'm very, very impressed. This is the first time I've actually committed to a reading journal, and this is my first book bound reading journal, and I am so impressed with myself. So this is a B5 size reading journal. So this is one of the larger ones that you can buy from Archer and Olive. I love it. I love this size. I will likely be sticking with this size next year as well. All right, so before we get into my June reading recap, well, no, let's do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill out my June reading recap first, and then we'll go back and we'll do a flip through. And the reason why we're going to go backwards is because I'll probably need to fill out some things. So instead of showing you the pages twice, once through the flip through and then once when I fill it out, that way we can hopefully only show it to you once. Okay. So in June, I finished a total of 6 books. I have a lot of books here because some of them I started, but I'm not going to count them as a DNF because I didn't read enough of it to really say that I'm never going to go back to it. So some books I'll start reading and then I realize that I'm not in the mood to read, and I do not count that as a DNF. But I do have one DNF that I'm pretty sure I'm not going to go back to, and that's going to be Her Soul for Revenge. So yeah, that one is going to be my DNF. I got to figure out where I'm going to put that though. If I'm going to put that down here where my ratings are, if I'm going to put it up here. So I did have one DNF and I finished a total of 6 books. So I'm going to put that, let's see. I think that's what I did here because I don't have stamps for that. Yeah, total books and days read. So we'll do 6 books finished. And then I have to count the days read. 20 days read, which I think is pretty good. As a mood reader, I do have to be in the mood to read. And then sometimes if I've just read a horrible book or a book I can't get into, sometimes it's really hard to pick up that next book. All right, y'all. Oh, I did not compute. I have a little cheat sheet and I did not compute these. What am I doing? All right, let me compute these really fast. I was like, I didn't compute this. All right, so I read a total of 4 books on my Kindle, no physical books, and I listened to 2 audiobooks. So the number of pages completed, which is for the 4 physical books, or the 4 Kindle books, was 1,422 pages, which is not very impressive for me. I read books that are close to that amount in one book, but yeah, it was a little rough this month. And then I listened to 24 hours and 56 minutes of audio. That was 2 books. That was 2 pretty long books. Now for my to be read list, Fate of the Sun King, that is going to be going on. Actually, most of these are going to be going on my July list. That one is no longer on Kindle Unlimited, so I had to request it from my library, and it just came in. The Emperor just didn't get to it. And then Burn of the Everflame, I'm waiting for that to come out. It's been pushed back, so I'm waiting for that to come out. So yeah, I did okay with reading the books that I kind of wanted to read, and we'll get into that. So I listened to A Touch of Darkness. All right, y'all. So here is my reading reviews. I'm probably not going to be showing this during my flip through because I show this when I do my monthly recaps. But I had started off the year doing 4 to a page. But then I kind of want to get a little bit more into my ratings and why I rated them certain ways. So instead of doing these types of pages in between each month and picking out a few books, I'm just going to go a little bit larger on my overall reading. And then if I don't have enough to write, I can just add more stickers. But I do like this. And then I created these little stickers that I pop in, and it's going to help me with my ratings. So what I did is I picked 5 categories, and then I'm going to rate each one of these out of 5. And that's going to help me determine my average, and that's going to give me my overall star rating. So I'm rating the plot, the characters, the writing, the interest, and the enjoyment. The writing is a little tough for me because I'm not too judgmental of writing. Like, I can enjoy a book even if the writing is not like top tier. Now, if the writing is horrible, then I'm probably not going to like the book. But I haven't really come across much on that level yet. But I'm not really harsh when it comes to writing. But like plot and characters, yes. Yes. Interest and enjoyment, obviously. But plot and characters, I'm really into. So if it's a little too heavy on the spice and not enough on the plot, it will probably go down for me. You'll see that a little bit later. But like, so I listened to A Touch of Darkness, which is book 1 in a series about Persephone and Hades. So you're taking like the whole Greek gods type mythology and things like that and making it into like a present day fantasy romance. I enjoyed the concept. I actually really enjoyed the premise, especially early on. I started losing interest probably almost midway in. I think I just liked how it started out so much that when it changes, I kind of lose interest. It's kind of hard to explain, but again, that's just me. But I still thought it was an okay read, and I gave it 3.5 stars. It's just I had a lot of questions that were left unanswered, and I'm not sure if they're going to be answered, or is that me just asking too many questions that don't need to be answered? I don't know. I think I may continue this series, but I'm not sure when. So we'll see. It's not a series I'm going to write off, but if I need to add something else, then I can. If you have an Audible subscription, you can listen to this for free. You don't need to use a credit. So I have like a month left of Audible, so I might listen to the second one from that one. So yeah, I thought it was okay. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I can say. I don't know how I got that 3.5 stars. It looked like I rated everything 4. Something here must be off. It was definitely 3.5 stars. I think the plot was definitely 3.5, and the characters were 3.5. I think all of this was 3.5. Interest and enjoyment. So I don't know why I put 4 there. So just ignore that. Her Soul to Take is the next book that I read, which I said I DNF'd the second book in the series. This one had a very interesting premise. Yeah. So that's kind of what kept me in it. I absolutely disliked the main character. Did not like her at all. She was annoying. I almost stopped reading because of her, but because the plot was kind of intriguing, I stuck with it. Both of these books are pretty spicy, but to me, they had Touch of Darkness, I think, had a little bit more plot than spice. This was about half and half. Early on, it was great. And then once the spice took over, it became kind of like a main focus, which was a little annoying. And now we come to my top 2 reads of the month, The Veil Kingdom, which is also part of a series. It's the first book in the series, but the second book, I believe, is coming out in August or end of July. I don't know, but I will be reading that second book as soon as it comes out. I hope it's on Kindle Unlimited. This book was almost a 5-star, and that ending is almost which gave it a 5-star. It was just so close to 5 stars. But like the writing and the plot kind of gave me the 4-star. And if I'm being honest, I really, really like the Kindred Curse saga, which, I kind of went over that last month in May for my May recap. So I am kind of like comparing some of these books to that one. So if I hadn't read that one, this might have been a 5-star. But it's a really good book. It is a like fantasy romance, but it's a slow burn fantasy romance. And when there's slow burns, you're not like bombarded with the romance aspect of it. So it's a lot more like fantasy, like character building and even some action going on before you get to any hint of a romance. Which I personally like. So I think that was a really, really good book. I really, really enjoyed it. Like I said, I loved the ending. Wasn't mad about it at all. So like the ending alone gave it like an extra quarter to a half star. Because it was just, there just has not been a book that had ended like that and kind of caught me off guard. Okay, and then the next one is also part of a series, and I did not realize it was part of a series when I started, or else I might have waited and try to read some like standalone books or something like that, or finish off some other series because I just have so many series. But it's The Blackened Blade, and this is a book I had not heard about at all, and then I randomly saw it on someone's Instagram feed, and they were raving about it, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll try it, because it's not super long. Well, it's 422 pages, but I was like, I'm kind of curious. Now, this is like a why choose fantasy romance, but again, there's not really any romance, and there is not really any spice. So, I believe I'll probably... As the book series goes on, you'll probably see a little bit more of that in there. But this first book is a lot of, I guess, the character building. There's not much world building in this, which is why I couldn't give it more than a 4-star, because it really needed more world building. There's just a lot of questions that I had about things in the plots that I think they should have been answered in the first book, because it is the book one. Usually you kind of set the scene. And I think it's kind of important, but they really weren't touched on. So that's why I gave that a 4-star, but it's such a good book. That was just me being like super picky because I just had questions that were never answered. But it's a really, really good book. There's also a cliffhanger at the end of this one, and I have to know what happens. So those are 2 books that I have to pick up the second book in a series and start reading it as soon as they come out. That one, again, is coming within the next few months. Then I finally finished a series, y'all. Yes, and I can show you that page because this is also something I probably won't be in the flip through. It was this one. I need to add some more stickers. But this is the Kingdom of Lies series. So I read all 4 books. So this is my 4th book, little synopses or my review here, and this is my overall series rating. This is kind of, I don't know how I'm going to be doing this. I don't know that I'm going to be doing a lot of these individual book reviews on them anymore because I'm doing them here. So I might just, after, I think the last one I did was the Kindred Curse Saga, but I think I'm going to just do 1-page series reviews from now on. But that's beside the point. So this is the 4th book in that series. And I gave the overall series a 4. Really loved the first book. Really enjoyed the second book. And was okay with the 3rd book. Almost didn't like this 4th book. Like the only reason why I think I rated it 3 stars instead of lower was, I'm sorry, I rated it 3.25 stars. And that was because the plot and the characters did get 4 stars, but everything else got 3 stars. Is because it was the last book of the series, and I enjoyed the series as a whole, but this was so slow. For this to be the last book, it was so slow. It kind of reminded me of A Kingdom of Ash, where it just kept dragging and dragging and dragging, and I'm like, come on now, we should get to the point. So yeah. And then the last book I read is The Never King. This is also a series of like 4 books, but they're all super short. This was 176 pages. This is a fantasy dark romance, so the spice is through the charts. I haven't done my stamps yet, but this spice is pretty much, I think there might be more plot than spice, but barely. It might be like 55-45. But I'm intrigued enough by the plots that I think I'm going to continue the series. So that's why I gave this one 3.5. I enjoyed this one more than this one. And that's sometimes what happens when I do rate my books, is if I read a book that I didn't love, I'll rate the next one higher than I probably would have. Okay, so let's go back here now. And with that said, my star ratings. So I gave 4 stars to 2 books. And then I actually gave like 4 and 4.75. And then I gave 3 stars to 4. So then my average was 3.75. So it really wasn't that great of a reading month as far as my average goes. And then I DNF'd Her Soul for Revenge. Now, because I DNF'd that, I didn't give that a rating or do anything else. Now, here I put like stamps there because I wasn't sure if I needed them for anything. I don't think I need them for anything. All right, so there we go. Now I'm gonna do a quick flip through of this while I kind of like fill it out, just to kind of give you an update on my overall stuff. Now, I think I might have finished my 6 genres. I did finish my books. I've read 40 books. So I need to figure out if I'm going to do more, and I think I am. So I think I'm going to do something similar, and I'm going to do like another, these are like photo frames on a wall, by the way, just abstract photos. So I might do this, but I don't think I can read 40 books for the remainder of the year. It's just things are going to be busier. I mean, I had a semi-busy first half of the year, but I don't foresee myself reading that many books. So maybe I'll say like 25. Be interesting. We'll see. And then I might do another TBR here of books that I want to finish reading. I don't think I'm going to read Leather and Lark. These were like my anticipated releases. I don't know that I'm going to read that. I'm probably not going to read Crescent City. But these other 2 I do hope to read this, hopefully this summer, but for the rest of the year. And then, like I said, I might add some more here because there are some sequels that now I really am anticipating. Okay, so I've colored in this so you can see, look, because I think I am at, hold up, I started numbering the books. I'm at book 42. So I've read 42 and I'm currently reading one and listening to another one, but the one I'm listening to will not be finished anytime soon. So that's like 44. So yeah, maybe I'll do 25 or 30. We'll see. Okay, so for June, let's just do a yellow. And we'll do another 6. Ooh, that's glitter. I don't know if I have to let it dry or not. But we said I did 1,422 pages and then 24 hours, 56 minutes. Okay. So I need to color in these, but I cut them off so I already know what I have, like the 4.75, the 4, the 3 1/4, and the 3 1/2. And those I did color in. I didn't have any 5-star reads. I did DNF. And I think I DNF'd that at like 20%. It's hilarious when you look at this DNF graveyard of the books they are. The Cursed, Hunting Adeline, Ninth House, Her Soul for Revenge are all like really dark books. I like dark books, but for some reason, they're the ones I'm DNFing. Maybe because I'm reading a lot more of those. Okay. And then my favorite book this month was The Veiled Kingdom. However, it's going to be very, very hard to top Glow of the Everflame. So we know that Glow of the Everflame beat all of these out. I don't even need to talk about that. I've talked about that enough. At this point, I think the only book that could beat that one out is Burn of the Everflame, which hasn't come out yet. All right, so there we go. Oh, I get to pick one for now. It's still going to be Glow of the Everflame, which I think there's a lot. There's a couple that definitely gave it a run for its money. And a couple of them are like 5 stars, but I can't. So then we're going to start here, and it will kind of lead us to who's going to battle that for my book of the year. All right, so here's my series tracker. I can check that one off because now that series is complete. So I guess I should like check it off like right there. There's definitely a lot of series that I started and have not finished. I'm listening to Zodiac Academy now. We'll see if I finish that one. So here's kind of an overall view of my genres. This is blue. I just switched highlighters for some reason. But as you can see, I read a lot of fantasy. I've read some more romance. Most of it's dark. But then I write it all here. So I wrote fantasy, suspense, thriller, romance, and then other. And some of the romance probably considered fantasy, but I don't know. I can mark them whatever. And then here's my spring reading challenge, which I completed almost everything. I did read a friend wreck. I don't know about the book about growth. I think a lot of my fantasy books are about growth, but I don't know. I don't think that's what I intended when I did this challenge. And then I recently created this summer reading challenge. I guess I can say I finished a series because I just finished it. Now this one's new. So I had a place for fall and then like another place for like another reading challenge if I wanted to do a Christmas one or whatever. But then I decided I wanted to do the Reddit Fantasy Bingo. So here we go. I printed out the bingo board and then I'm going to write the books. So I didn't do anything fancy here just because I don't have the room to do it. And then I have this little sheet in here, which is the books that I'm like intending on reading to kind of hit these prompts. But I have until the end of March to complete it. It runs April through March. And then here's my A to Z. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only have 8 letters to finish. Surprisingly, R has not been finished yet. And then my my vowels, A, E, O, and U has not been finished. So like I don't count the word A and I don't count the. Like I always start with the next word. So like for A, I'm just not using. Like I've read a lot of books that have the word A, like it starts with A blank, blank, blank. But I want a real word that starts with A. So that's why I haven't done that yet. Hopefully I can finish that. Here's my book bingo board. I'm coming close, y'all. I'm coming close. Finish a duology. Am I reading a duology? I don't know. Color in the title. Written or set. Yeah. I think I can color that one in, suggested by a friend. But I have another book that was suggested by a friend that I'm going to read soon. So then I'll just leave that one for that. Book I own, that'll be easy because I've been buying books, y'all. And the number in the title, I have one for that one too. So I shouldn't have a problem. My goal is to like completely fill up the board. It's not necessarily just to get a bingo, but I don't even have a bingo yet. The way I guess I organized these, I just made it difficult because I have a lot colored in. Oh, that one can be colored. Finish a series, 3 or more books, right? That can be colored in. And then I am currently reading The Repeating Word for June. So I haven't finished that one. I started that one late. So I'll have that next month as part of the reviews. But so far I'm doing okay with that. So this is the buzzword reading challenge for July is measurements. I actually signed up for Storygraph because Storygraph, they have all these challenges in there and then you can put books in there so that way you know which ones you want to read. Okay. So I think that's it. I think that's it for my flip through. So now I'm just going to go ahead and create this month. I really need to finish this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just all behind, but I have to hurry up and do these videos because I'm getting ready to I need to put stuff in for July because I'm starting to read for July books. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to create this little calendar, which I should have already done. I'm going to use these stickers this time. This is from Book Bay from Live Love Posh. I am an affiliate for Live Love Posh, so I do have a discount code and an affiliate link. My discount code will save you 10%. All that information will be down in the description box. But I'm going to use these because these are kind of summery and I have 2 sets, so I figure I need to use them. Plus, I've been kind of brainstorming and I might have already come up with a theme for my 2025 reading journal. I'm not going to share that. Nope, not yet. But I don't think I'm going with like the bookish theme. I mean, I maybe for like my monthly spreads or whatever, but not off the bat. So yeah. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this calendar and then we're going to come back because I got to count everything and do all this other stuff. All right, there we go. Again, this looks cuter once I like put the dots and stuff in it, but right now it is fine. It is what it is. So I think I'm going to get out Mojo Jojo's pastel boxes because I really do like the way this looks with boxes down at the bottom. So I'm going to go with the green and the pinks. So I'm going to use this one. For the books that I read. So again, I'll dot them and then put the corresponding dot there on the days I read them. And then I'm going to do a pink one. We'll do the same thing. I don't usually have a huge TBR because I am a mood reader. And then I'll just do this for a possible arc. I don't think the release date for Burn of the Everflame has been revealed yet, so I don't know that. All right, so then I'm going to just put, I have to stamp, but I'm going to put some stickers down too. All right, guys, there we go. So I didn't go overboard with the stickers this time. And as I was filling this out, I don't know that I'm going to do the second page anymore because I have to write down the quotes. Sometimes I write down quotes, sometimes I don't. So right now I have to go back and like look through my Kindle to get the quotes down. Then I have to fill this stuff out, and I'm not really in the mood to do it. So am I going to be in the mood to do it next month? I don't know. So I think I'm going back down to just the one page like this of my stats. Everything pretty much can stay on here. I just won't have any of the extra stuff. And if for some reason I get into a mood and I really want to do a whole bunch of other stuff, then I'll just come into here and just decorate it and set it up later on in the month when I know for a fact that I'm going to be using it. But I still think it's super cute. I still think it's super fun. I used the stamps. I added the 3 colors, and of course I used the stickers, and then it looked a little plain, especially compared to all of my other spreads where I went really heavy with all the stickers. So because this one isn't as stickery, I added the washi after the fact, so then I had to cut around the stickers, but still I liked how it looked. And yeah, so there we go. So that is my July setup, my June reading wrap up, as well as a flip through of all of my challenges so we can see where we are for the year. And I think I'm in a good spot. I think I'm in a good reading spot. I've already hit my reading goal. So at this point, everything else is just extra. I would like to finish some of these challenges. I really would like to finish this one. I'm reading Zodiac Academy, y'all. Actually, I'm listening to it because I'm not really excited about it. I've read all 8 books, and then the 9th one is the final one. And I'm just not excited about it. I just didn't like the last 3 books that much. So it was just hard for me to want to pick up a 1,000-page book. So I'm like, let's go with the audio. And y'all, the audio, yeah, I don't know. I think I've gotten through like 5% of the audio, and I'm like, really? Is this how bad the writing sounds like when you listen to it? Because I didn't notice it. I know a lot of people talked about the writing, but I really didn't notice much of it. I might notice some of it, but it wasn't that big of a deal to me. But when you listen to it on audio, it's like, wow. So I don't know. I really need to like stick with it so I can finish that Z. But right now, I can tell you it's a struggle. I definitely don't want to DNF the last book in a series when I've read the first 8 books. So that one might be the one that I'm just listening to for months on end until I can finally finish it. But yeah, I have a lot of tough letters to finish. The U and the X is going to be tough. The Y may or may not be. I think some of these other ones should be fine. I just have to figure it out. I am not stressing about it though. It's more just to see if I can do it. If I don't do it, I don't do it. But like this, I really kind of want to finish. This I want to finish. And then of course the fun ones that I create, I would like to finish. But this one is just kind of like, I would like to, but if not, it's not the end of the world. So we'll see, y'all. There we go. That's my reading journal for the first half of 2024. I do hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please remember to hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. That's all I have for now. I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time, bye.